What if everything you believed about protein after 50 was completely and totally wrong today? Most people over 50 are taking the wrong protein, and they do not even realize it at all. They stay consistent, spend money, and do all the right things, yet still keep getting weaker every day. That is the most frustrating feeling when real effort produces absolutely no visible results for you. You follow the advice, take your shake, and somehow your body still keeps falling further behind daily. What if the real problem is not your effort, but the specific type of protein you are choosing? That one shift in thinking changes everything because the fix is actually much simpler than you currently believe. The fitness industry is not telling people over 50 something that genuinely changes everything for their bodies. The protein rules that work for a 20-year-old body simply do not apply to a 50-year-old body. Your body after 50 changes in ways that completely alter how you should approach your daily nutrition. Understanding this one shift can literally transform how your body responds to everything you eat every single day. Stay with me, because what comes next might completely change your entire morning protein routine forever, starting now. Before diving into the science, let us get one very important thing absolutely clear from the very beginning. Whey protein is still a fantastic protein source, and nobody here is saying you should stop using it. Whey is high in leucine, which is the key amino acid that directly triggers muscle protein synthesis. It signals your muscles to start repairing, rebuilding, and growing stronger with every single workout you complete. Whey is still probably the easiest way to hit your complete protein intake at absolutely any age. But today is about what people over 50 are critically missing from their everyday diets right now. It is not about replacing whey at all, but about adding something that is being dangerously overlooked today. The protein we are discussing fills a gap that gets wider and wider every single year after 50. The older you get, the more critical this specific gap becomes for your long-term strength and overall health. The protein we are talking about today is collagen, and here is exactly why it matters so deeply. Before you dismiss this as just another beauty supplement, please hear me out completely on this one. What most people know about collagen stops at skin creams, and that is barely scratching the real surface. Yes, collagen helps your skin look younger, but that is honestly the very smallest part of its story. The real story of collagen happens deep inside your muscles, joints, tendons, and connective tissues every single day. If you are over 50, that story is one you absolutely cannot afford to keep ignoring any longer. Now let us start with the study that first made this topic so genuinely compelling and impossible to ignore. It was published in the Journal of Nutrition and Dietetics, and the findings were genuinely and completely surprising. Researchers divided elderly people into two separate groups and gave them different proteins for 15 consecutive days. One group consumed whey protein every single day, while the other group consumed collagen protein every single day. The results completely flipped what most researchers actually expected to find when they set up that study. Collagen protein did a far better job at restoring something absolutely critical inside elderly study participants specifically. Collagen protein restored nitrogen balance in those elderly participants better than whey protein was able to do. Now, you are probably wondering what nitrogen balance even is and why it genuinely matters so much for you. Think of nitrogen balance like a scoreboard inside your body that tells you if you are losing muscle. A positive nitrogen balance means you have enough amino acids and your body is not breaking down muscle. A negative nitrogen balance means your body is actually consuming its very own muscle tissue just to survive. If you are in negative nitrogen balance, you are quietly losing muscle every single day without even knowing. As you age, your body naturally drifts toward negative nitrogen balance even when you eat adequate protein daily. That is one of the main reasons why elderly people lose muscle mass so rapidly and so silently. You simply cannot feel it happening, but your body slowly loses the muscle you worked so hard building. Now here is where collagen enters the conversation and completely changes everything we thought about protein and aging. The collagen group had a better nitrogen balance than the whey group after just 15 short days. That result was completely unexpected because whey is a complete protein with all essential amino acids fully included. So why would collagen, which is not a complete protein, outperform whey in nitrogen balance for elderly participants? The researchers had two main theories, and both of them make a genuinely great deal of logical sense. The first theory involves something called fibroblasts, which are the cells that naturally produce collagen inside your body. When you are young, your fibroblasts are highly active and produce collagen at a very healthy, consistent rate. But as you age, those fibroblasts start slowing down and become significantly less efficient with every passing year. When fibroblast activity declines, your body breaks down collagen faster than it can possibly replace or replenish it. This is why your joints start to ache and your skin begins losing its youthful elasticity over time. This is also why your tendons feel increasingly stiff and recovery from any exercise takes so much longer. By 50, your body has already experienced a significant decline in its natural ability to produce collagen efficiently. So when you add collagen through your diet, you help your body offset that very natural internal decline. You give your fibroblasts the raw materials they need to maintain tissue and support your joint function daily. That is exactly why the collagen group showed better nitrogen balance than the whey group in that study. It was protein feeding the specific tissue that breaks down the fastest as people naturally and inevitably age. Now here's the second theory, and this one might actually be even more important for you to understand. As people age, they naturally start eating far less collagen in their everyday diet without even realizing it. Think about what younger people regularly eat and then notice how very different it is from what older people eat. Younger people eat burgers, ribs, chicken wings, and slow-cooked meats that are genuinely rich in connective tissue. That gristle and those tendons that most people push to the side of their plate is pure collagen. It is rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, which are the building blocks of all healthy connective tissue. When people reach their 50s, they shift toward lighter meals, smaller portions, and more plant-based food choices. They stop eating the most collagen-rich parts of meat without ever knowing they are making that specific mistake. At the same time, their bodies actually need more collagen because internal production is declining with every passing year. So you end up with a very real double blow where your body both makes less and consumes less. That growing gap between what your body needs and what you actually consume gets bigger every single year after 50. The consequences of that gap show up in ways most people simply chalk up to the normal aging process. Achy joints, stiff tendons, slower recovery, weaker muscles, and reduced energy throughout every single day are the signs. These are not just inevitable signs of aging, but signs of a specific nutritional deficiency you can genuinely fix. Now, let us talk about sarcopenia, because this is the silent and real enemy for every person over 50. Sarcopenia is the medical term for age-related muscle wasting, and it affects far more people than most realize. After the age of 30, your body naturally begins losing muscle mass at roughly 1% every single year. By 50, that loss begins to accelerate significantly if you are not actively and consistently doing something to stop it. By the time you reach 60 or 70, muscle loss can make even basic daily tasks genuinely difficult to complete. Getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, and walking without pain can all become extremely hard. Most people don't even know they have it because sarcopenia develops so slowly and so silently over years. Now, here's the genuinely good news, and I really want you to pay very close attention to this. A study in the British Journal of Nutrition looked directly at people who already had confirmed sarcopenia specifically. 53 participants were given either 15 grams of collagen per day or a placebo for exactly 12 weeks. Both groups also performed resistance training during those same 12 weeks to see how muscle responded to exercise. What happened next was remarkable and genuinely something every single person over 50 absolutely needs to know about. Every group improved their muscle mass and strength because resistance training is genuinely powerful at absolutely any age. Even the placebo group improved because exercise remains one of the most powerful health tools that currently exists. But here is exactly where things got interesting, and where collagen showed its unique value for aging adults. The group taking collagen built an average of 4.2 kilograms of lean muscle over those same 12 weeks. The group without collagen only managed to build 2.9 kilograms of lean muscle in that exact same period. That is nearly 1.5 extra kilograms of lean muscle simply from adding daily collagen consistently. Same training program, same time period, same population, and the only real difference was 15 grams of collagen. Think about what that extra muscle mass actually means for someone who is actively fighting sarcopenia every day. It could mean the difference between needing help to stand up and being able to do it yourself. It could mean staying physically active in your 60s and 70s rather than slowly and quietly losing your independence. This is not cosmetic at all, but truly about protecting your actual quality of life as you continue aging. This is exactly why collagen deserves a far more central place in any honest conversation about aging and nutrition. Some of you are thinking collagen is incomplete, so how does it actually help someone build more lean muscle? That is a completely fair question, and it genuinely deserves a very clear and a very direct, honest answer. You are absolutely correct that collagen does not contain all essential amino acids the same way that whey does. Whey is loaded with leucine, which is the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis happening inside your body. Collagen does not trigger muscle protein synthesis the same way and simply does not flood your system with leucine. But here is what collagen does that whey simply cannot do in the same way for aging bodies. Collagen provides the structural proteins your tendons, ligaments, and muscle connective tissue are literally built from every day. When you push your muscles in training, the connective tissue surrounding them is also being stressed and damaged simultaneously. Without enough collagen to repair that damaged tissue, your recovery slows considerably more with every passing year after 50. This means more soreness, longer recovery windows, a higher injury risk, and ultimately less overall progress from training. Collagen fills the specific structural gap that becomes more and more pronounced with each single year after 50. Whey feeds the actual muscle cells directly, while collagen feeds the scaffolding holding absolutely everything together around them. Both matter deeply, but for people over 50, collagen is the one being almost universally underconsumed every day. Adding collagen does not replace the role of whey or any other complete protein in your overall nutrition plan. You still need leucine, complete proteins, and sufficient total daily protein intake because none of that ever changes. Think of collagen as the missing puzzle piece that makes your other protein sources work so much more effectively. It is like having a perfectly tuned engine, but the entire chassis holding everything securely together is completely worn out. No matter how great the engine performs, if the frame is crumbling badly, you simply will not go far. Collagen is the frame, and complete proteins are the engine, and your aging body truly needs both to perform. Now let us look at what actually happens inside your cells as your collagen levels naturally decline with age. When fibroblast activity declines, the structural integrity of all your connective tissue starts to break down very gradually. Your joint cartilage begins to thin, which means there's less cushioning between your bones during any movement. Your tendons lose their natural elasticity and become far less equipped to handle the regular stress of exercise. Your fascia, the tissue wrapping every muscle in your body, starts losing its smooth and flexible daily quality. This is exactly why absolutely everything feels so stiff every single morning when you have reached your 50s. You wake up and your body needs a full 20 minutes just to feel like it is functioning normally. That morning stiffness is not something you simply must accept and live with as an unavoidable part of aging. It is a measurable and very addressable symptom of declining collagen levels that can genuinely be improved through nutrition. By adding collagen back into your daily diet, you give your body the specific building blocks it desperately needs. Many people taking collagen regularly report feeling noticeably less stiff within just a few short weeks of starting consistently. Their joints feel more lubricated, recovery from exercise becomes faster, and overall mobility begins to meaningfully improve gradually. These are not just individual anecdotal reports, but outcomes that align directly with what the consistent research actually shows. Now let us talk practically about how to actually start getting more collagen into your daily life right now. You do not need to spend a fortune on supplements to begin getting meaningful amounts of collagen into your body. Some of the very best collagen sources are actually the most affordable and widely available foods you can find. The first and most natural source is bone broth, and it is genuinely much simpler to make than you think. Simmering animal bones with just a splash of vinegar for several hours pulls all the collagen out into liquid. You can sip a warm cup of bone broth each morning the same way most people enjoy their coffee. It warms you up completely, gives you collagen, supports your gut lining, and sets a great tone daily. The second source is the parts of meat that most people regularly push completely aside and entirely ignore. Think ground beef with connective tissue and slow-cooked chicken thighs and drumsticks with the skin still fully on. Think about cuts like oxtail, beef shank, or pork shoulder that have real tendons and cartilage throughout them. When these tougher cuts are slow-cooked for a long time, collagen literally dissolves into the liquid, becoming easy to absorb. That rich jelly-like quality and slow-cooked meat drippings that solidify when they cool in the fridge is pure collagen. Your grandparents cooked this way all the time, and there is incredibly deep nutritional wisdom in those traditional methods. Modern food culture shifted entirely toward boneless, skinless cuts of meat that have almost absolutely zero collagen remaining. We removed the most collagen-rich parts of our everyday diets and then genuinely wonder why our joints hurt so much. The third option is collagen peptide powder, which is convenient, very well researched, and extremely easy to use every day. Collagen peptides are hydrolyzed, meaning they have been broken into smaller pieces your body can absorb so much more easily. You can stir collagen peptide powder into your coffee, smoothie, oatmeal, or any liquid you already drink daily. It is completely tasteless, dissolves very easily, and gives you a reliable and concentrated dose of collagen every morning. For people over 50 wanting simplicity and total consistency, collagen peptide powder is absolutely the most practical daily option. So how much collagen per day should you actually aim for in order to see genuinely meaningful, real results? Research generally suggests that between 5 and 15 grams per day falls within the most effective and well-studied range. The sarcopenia study we discussed earlier used 15 grams daily and produced those very impressive lean muscle gains throughout. If you are brand new to collagen, starting conservatively with just 5 to 10 grams per day is smart. You can then gradually increase to 15 grams over time as your body adjusts and overall benefits begin improving. The most important single thing is staying genuinely consistent, because collagen simply does not work like an overnight miracle. Collagen builds slowly over weeks and months by gradually replenishing all the structural tissue throughout your entire body daily. Think of it like watering a plant, where one big flood never helps as much as consistent daily watering. Small daily doses taken consistently over a long period of time always produce far better overall results for you. Now, let me address the question that almost always comes up about collagen's very unique amino acid profile specifically. Collagen is very rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, but it is simply not particularly high in leucine itself. Collagen is not competing at all with complete proteins, but is instead very specifically complementing what they already do. The amino acids in collagen serve structural functions that leucine-rich proteins simply cannot address in exactly the same way. Glycine is one of the most abundant amino acids in collagen, and it powerfully supports both sleep and joint recovery. It actively supports deep sleep quality, helps with cartilage regeneration, and plays a genuinely key role in detoxification. Most people are actually chronically deficient in glycine because regular muscle meat, which we eat most, is glycine poor. Proline and hydroxyproline are the other key collagen amino acids that are essential for rebuilding your connective tissue structures. Without adequate proline and hydroxyproline, your body simply cannot build any new collagen, regardless of everything else you take.